After 5 rounds of revision, Marco Polo finally found herself satisfied. Not bad. Great painter indeed. Your rendition is nothing short of beautiful. I'm glad you're happy, Your Grace. They didn't tell me to undo all the revisions in the end. Anyway, now that the painting is done, what do you want me to do? I plan to modify the right of the final judgment to yield new results. Not to awaken these so-called divine armies, but to herald the appearance of the one true God. What's the look in your eye? Do you think the Apostle Marco Polo would fail? No, I know that nobody knows God better than you, Your Grace. But to be honest, the God in this painting is strange, like really weird. Do you find it any stranger than divine weapons and armies? I will hide the truth from you. Andrea's talk of stories and cages, it's all true. I saw this cryptid head story with my own 2 eyes. Like here at the right is written, Paradise Lost will befall this world once more. The divine weapons will return, and the apostle will hold all the power, and the world will be ruled forever by God's hands. Your God has another name, the Sirens. This very world is but another of their twisted test sites. Here they test faith, and you and everyone else born here are their guinea pigs. Cage is an apt descriptor for this world, really. The world is a cage? Please, you must have had some inkling of it. Da Vinci realized it too. Otherwise, you two wouldn't use brain power to describe the so-called power of faith. To be quite honest, I happen to like that phrase. Nothing gets past you, Your Grace. I generally support Andrea's idea of reforming faith in the church, but I didn't think she would be so radical, let alone that she'd start a war over it. She panicked when she learned of my appearance, because she thought I would mobilize the Divine Army. Yet nobody ever stopped to question whether I wanted to fight in the first place. Do you want to fight, Your Grace? Absolutely not! Hell, if she come and talked to me, I would have joined her! Better we fight our common enemy together than squabble among ourselves! The Apostle herself would rebel against the Holy See. It's called writing the course. But in fact, it's already fighting. There's nothing we could do now, is there? There's still time. We may have lost the nodes of the lattice of God's light, but fortunately, there's been a little loss of actual life. Our army can still act. It's the perfect time for a bit of deceit. I might have failed last time, but I'm the kind of woman who knows how to learn from mistakes. God's given me a second chance, and damn it, I'll do it right this time. Say last time? It's a long story, I'll tell you another time. Okay, what about the whole deceit thing? What are we doing? I have a plan, but the 2 of us can't accomplish it alone. Let's get Kadushi and the others involved. They won't say it out loud, but I know how they feel, so don't worry. Well, what a coincidence. I was just thinking the same thing. Go back to them and tell them there was an issue with the rights. Have them come to me. And then... Can you scroll faster? A while later, Marco Polo and Raffaello returned after their secret talk at the ritual grounds and reorganized their forces. They were going to withdraw their troops and allow Andrea's faction to capture every node of the lattice of God's light. At the same time, their whole army would converge upon Rome and make it appear as though they were conducting a massive ritual to buy themselves time out of desperation. Sure enough, Andrea Doria took notice and launched a naval attack with the brunt of her force, just as Marco Polo predicted. Meet again, Raffaello. I'm quite surprised you're leading the Ecclesia's navy. Where's your leader, Marco Polo? Her Grace is, well, busy. She kinda just threw her arms up and told me to take care of the trouble here. Threw her arms up, you say? She must have put a lot of faith in this ritual of hers, no pun intended. And yet, she has surrendered so many nodes to buy herself some time. Frankly, it doesn't seem like the smartest idea, does it? Maybe, maybe not. I'll let you enjoy the suspense. Andrea, I'm starting to think Raffaello was also stalling for time. Yes, I've said my piece. All there is to do now is to attack head-on. Fine by me. I'll become at you straight as spaghetti. Da Vinci, Alfredo, remember the plan. Do everything you can to hold the others back while I go and persuade Andrea. Funny enough, as a battle theme, this music is a lot more haunting than it's just a cutscene theme. Sort of reminds me of like some of the more ominous themes from the Dark Souls series, like I guess the first phase of Pontiff Sulyvahn. That kind of goes hard. Using the power granted by the lattice of God's light, Ophelia cut the distance to Andrea in the blink of an eye. Andrea, meanwhile, began to brandish the power of the domain of eternal nights. Instantly, the world was split between light and dark. Ophelia, you have walked into a trap. Stall for time so you wish, but I have not thought about why I'm not doing the same. You think Rome was untouchable so long as you have the lattice of God's light? Nah. The thing is, Marco Polo knows you want to take us down with you, which will result in the lattice's destruction. Take you down with me. An interesting way to phrase it. If you've seen through my plan, why deploy your forces like this then? Is that ritual of hers really worth staking everything on? I wouldn't say the ritual is that important. It's you who's the most important. The reason I'm here is to talk to you, plain and simple. What is there to talk about after we've come this far? You're not thinking about switching sides, are you? No. So in terms of composition, we're the champions of light and you're the warriors of darkness. But out of curiosity, if you wanted me to join the dark side, what kind of deal would you offer me? How about double whatever the Ecclesia is paying you? Ooh, an enticing offer. I'll have to say no thanks. Tell me the truth about the world, will you? Everything I've said is the truth. The God, the Holy See, has worshipped for all this time is a bunch of ancient machines. Robots, in essence. They made up a religion, used the Holy See to manipulate the world based on that false belief. All as the pretense, the story, for their experiments. Their relics, at least all the lattice you're using right now, pose a disastrous threat to the world. Relics exist for one purpose. Turn us all into puppets who dance at their command in the name of faith. Do you even know what the ending is to the story that they've come up with? Even if you beat us into submission, and do exactly what they want you to do, all that awaits you in the end is death and devastation. It's called a reset. Wipes out both their most loyal followers and their most staunch opponents. I mean, I think I basically conformed to the status quo. This means I really believed in God. That's why I approve of the revolution you've been working towards. I didn't expect that you'd do it by dragging your allies into an all-out war. I'm trying to keep casualties on both sides to a minimum. You already know that, don't you? Minimum doesn't mean none. Besides, think about it. You didn't go to war because of the threat of the final judgment. You did it because the lattice was going to be activated. Surely it's the world's downfall one day if left unchecked. You don't know if that one day will be tomorrow or 1,000 years from now. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying what you're doing here is wrong, but if none of the Sirens are manipulating at all, have you not considered that this war may just be another part of their story? You jumped the gun a little bit, and well, here we are. I was out of time. A ship girl apostle had been born, and the Holy See had the key to activate those divine weapons. I know it's resting inside the Ninth Armory of God. Other places like it exist across the Ecclesia, and only the apostle can control the divine army once awakened. With that kind of power, nobody would have been able to challenge the Holy See. As the executioner of God's experiments, they would have put unbreakable shackles on all of us. That hasn't happened yet. The cage hasn't been locked shut just yet. That was why I had to act. This was my one and only hope. Okay, so you're mostly on the right track, but forgetting about one crucial thing. One crucial thing? Yeah, what if, seriously, what if Marco Polo already knew all of this? And what if she not only knew more than you, but she was trying to do the same thing as you, destroy the cage around us? It's like I said earlier, I just came here to talk to you. I'll be real with you. Marco Polo has come up with an unbelievable plan to fix everything. We'll both get what we want if you help her do it. Interested? Then hear me out for a bit. Sometime earlier, at the Rite of Final Judgment's ritual grounds, Marco Polo gathered her aides under the pretense of a problem with the rite, proceeded to tell them the same thing as she had told Raffaello just earlier. As Raffaello anticipated, they readily offered to cooperate with her. And it said that Marco Polo began to detail her plan. Let me make this clear. I know what I'm doing, and you are to all follow my instructions. Our forces have already been concentrated at Rome. Andrea is stably amassing her own forces. What God expects to happen next is an all-out war between the two of us. However, I will not be playing into his hand. We're going to broach discussions of Andrea and secrets. We give the impression that we are fighting while actually working together. Then, under God's watch, we'll focus our force is one place in a way he will never see coming. And then the plan begins in earnest. We activate the Divine Army and use our might to destroy each and every one of God's weapons. Both sides will join forces, and after our armies have arrived, we will modify the right to make it so God's weapons can no longer be strengthened by the power of faith. And not just that, we'll issue self-destruct orders, switch off defense systems, and give contradicting orders. Anything we can to put them in utter disarray. When the Divine Army is at its weakest, we will all march on Rome and wipe it out. Once that cursed army is completely annihilated, the world will be free from its cage. I will remain as the Apostle, and Ecclesia's army will follow the Holy See's commands. My commands, in other words. And we'll live happily ever after. The end. Oh, don't worry. The army won't question my orders. They'll believe me if I say they can't get a revelation in this place. Wow, they'll buy it just like that? This is certainly an unexpected plan. Sounds Christy, just the way I like it. Right? Now, for the contract details of the plan. Raffaello explained Marco Polo's plan from start to finish, and Andrea was dumbfounded from sheer surprise. Yeah, that's Marco for you. So yeah, that's more or less the idea. Marco Polo sure is a woman of unconventional brilliance. Hate to admit it, but it's a very appealing plan. Still cannot trust her though. You must understand, at the end of the day, she served God. She is the chosen one who was born in the shipyard of God. So proof for rebellion, huh? Don't worry. As we speak, she's taking faith in God and turning it to faith in her. Once that's done, you'll know exactly where she stands. Faith in her? How in the world will she do that? The power to come up with things is in the heart of each and every one of us. Anyway, let's separate a bit and keep the appearance for a standoff. And just sit back and watch their masterful planning unfolds. Alright, from there, I'll determine her true worth. That's also cool. I know they're supposed to be Hierophant, but God, she really has the Eye of Sauron, doesn't she? Stop! There. I'm at the complete whiteness, extending endlessly in all directions. I arrived before it. Hello, Hierophant. God, you look awesome. You've always been showing me these things, aren't you? No response. Hierophant stands there in the distance, silent like an incomplete statue. I've seen everything you showed. Am I right to assume that you're stuck in this place? I'm wanting to escape. The way you teamed up with the Metahadakaze and tried to create a kingdom of God for Marco Polo. You might not harbor any ill will. Most of your actions have had consequences beyond your expectations, beyond your control even. I was going to say that's also the Soya's event, but I didn't cover it because of a recording error. Although the statue does not say a word, for a moment it looks like there's a glimmer in its gemstone-like eyes. I'm sure what's happening to Marco Polo now also has something to do with you. What have you done to her? The calm whiteness starts to shiver like a rising tide is pressing in on all sides. The very next moment, the soundless waves come flooding in. Everything except the waves rapidly dissolves like ice, eventually leaving nothing but a void. Then, from the gaps of the snow-white waves, Marco Polo's figure comes to view. Oh God, I give you all my faith. The voice of the chorus reverberates, and the white waves once more cover the void. I am with you, and you are with me. Probably just repeating her back. Again, the chorus rings out. The figure becomes visible. It. Please, grant me the strength to repel the sirens once more. With more utterance from the chorus, a colossal weapon-nosed gazer reveals itself. Then another white wave crashes in, replacing everything with a blank nothingness. The endless expanse of white regains its calm, and the statue is still silent. Even so, in the jewel of its eyes, I can clearly make out Marco Polo's figure. It seems that she and Hierophant have forged a deep bond. Having seen all these things, I have a plethora of questions to ask, but I don't even know where to start. She is using her power to fight the sirens. How do you feel about that? Statue says nothing in response. Well, the Sirens and the Arbiters are different, as we've seen, so who knows.